Greetings, everybody, beloved, beautiful, wonderful beings of love. I hope you're enjoying the energies that are just pouring on the planet at the moment. Our planet is vibrating, it is electric, and it's going to get more and more. So put those feelers out, our little antennae. If we're working on anything, it is it's about those antennae popping up. I didn't get to share some of these beautiful images last night, so I can talk a little bit more about the marriage of Shiva and Parvati, which actually happens tomorrow, commemorated tomorrow in Mahashivratri. So being Valentine's Day today, it seemed a silly thing not to miss this beautiful window. So I wanted to just share a few of my attitudes and not experiences of love. I'm a little different. I don't want those comments on here. Why do I want those comments on here? Whoops. No, all sorts of strange things are happening. Okay, so as I said, there was no notice about this, so we'll just wait and see who streams in for a little bit. Otherwise, this won't be a very long catch-up. I'm sure you're all busy, hopefully preparing something beautiful with love and with kindness and sweetness and an extraordinary amount of care, whether you have a special significant other or you don't. I think that's what I can do. Aha, yes, I can do that. There we go. We just managed to click a few buttons and things work out well. Okay. So where should we begin? Love. What's that movie? Marriage. The Princess Bride. Marriage. Love. So misunderstood in the Western world. Something that just kept popping up in my mind is that we condemn other cultures for having arranged marriages, which I think on the bigger scale of things actually work. They don't always work, but they matchmaker, you know. They look at your chart, they look at your family, but be that as it may, how many marriages in the West are arranged where there's no option, especially in the wealthier families and the monarchy. They all so beautifully interbred with one another to keep their line pure. Was I reading who didn't? It doesn't matter, somewhere. Angela, hello, beautiful one. This is just a quick eye candy and a little sprinkle of love. Unconditional love, hopefully. And we just put some little things. So I might get heavy, and if I do, I'm very sorry. I don't mean to be heavy. Oh, yes, I do mean to be heavy, because we need to wake up, and we're moving into this beautiful new earth, and we have children, and we have little children around us, and all sorts of wonderful things. So I'm just going to be very scatty, and that's absolutely fine, but we'll come back to Shiva and Parvati, whose marriage is celebrated tomorrow, which is just absolutely beautiful, because she actually asked him to please clean up. She didn't want him to arrive with his crazy dreadlocks and with all his crazy gunners and covered in ashes, which he duly did, and he arrived as this most amazing adorned prince. So they got married in all sorts of extraordinary finery, and I have been very privileged enough to actually go to a Indian wedding, which is just, it goes on for days and the costume changes. It is just so luscious and passionate and just so much bling, and it's made in Bollywood completely. So I said I wanted to just infuse us with the sensuality versus this love. I don't do love. Many years ago, just not going into my stuff right now, and that wasn't my stuff, but observing people around me. Love was like, oh, smack, smack, smack. But I love you. And this very much in the West. Yes, it is. I know. And yeah, oh, beautiful. Yeah. And we are, the whole planet is vibrating. And as I said last night, whether we like it or not, there's millions of people that are celebrating Valentine's Day in all sorts of ways. Yeah, and just get our antennae, open these antennae up to receive more and more of what the universe is just pouring and flooding us with. And so we have Mahashivratri tomorrow, which is just this divine pouring of energy and love. And we're just like, just grab it, yeah. But we've got messed up a little bit with our attitude of love and what's expected. I mean, how many people do you know that have been engaged or living together for years and years and years, and then they get married and boom bang, within a year they're divorced? This kind of a lot, yeah. A stupid little piece of paper actually creates expectations which really shouldn't be there. But that's just like for us to think about. So as I said, many years ago, I actually substituted the word love. I would have many arguments with my mother. I said, no, I don't believe in love. But I do. I just substituted the word for care, because care became a verb. And I do things because, hello, my beautiful, beautiful Hini. I do things because I care for you. I do things because I care for myself. I can just fall back and say love, 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 love. And everybody says the whole world is supposed to change when we hear those words. As I said last night, it's very rare in an Indian family for people to tell each other that they love one another, that they love their children, or that they love one another. It just is what it is. Yeah. They don't need to express those words because they've had this beautiful cultural foundation. We've lost so much in the West, and we've really been bashing our head against different walls. And yeah, just as I said, this is going to be a little disjointed, and that's fine. I just want to throw a whole pile of things. Oh, so let me just show you some beautiful images, because as I said, Shiva did really tidy himself up and arrived as this absolute immaculate prince when he came to marry Parvati. It was at her request that he came really beautifully. And this also ties in with what I'm going to talk about, the Kama Sutra, a little bit. So just a little bit of eye candy. It's just so sensuous and so passionate. I mean, here's this divine prince just arriving. Oh, when the Indians get dressed, oh my golly, do they get dressed. As I said, if you've been lucky enough to get to an Indian wedding, it's a whole full day of eye candy, and they get lots of people. I mean, it's just so absolutely sensuous. But just a little thing about love and when to children in the new era, the new earth, we're not going to be having sexual unions to have babies. I can remember just thinking when I was a young child, and my mother telling me that I think I was about 6 or so, that her friend was going to have a baby, Auntie Ellen. And I just looked at her and I thought, the angels have come to her. So I think this is how things will be in the new earth. It's very complicated to do all this sexual union that people, so this is going to be missing, I think. Not missing, it's not missing, it just takes love to a completely different degree. And when there have been like a lot of abductions, they've usually been of a sexual nature. What's the word? Experimental nature, that people remember. Not all, but a lot, yeah. Because we are the one, we're like animals, that we copulate to make babies, and it's like absolutely amazing. But also interesting that a lot of cultures, I know that the Mayans would look at the time that you are actually conceived, which is when your birth chart is. So very interesting. Most people, very few people know when they conceive their child. You're really blessed if you do. And it's always this, like almost always, some kind of extreme passion, whether it's love. If your children are conceived in love, then you give them a huge, huge, big step up in the world. Okay, so some things that just want to get off my shoulders, and that we can maybe just think about what we do, or gently change the way that people think. And so I think it has a big problem with what happens in our society, that we're just so excessive, and so much porn and addiction to porn. It's like, just like, we don't want to go there right now. It's like really got very, very, very ugly. I think actually the Red Hot Chili Peppers said it so beautifully. Blood, sugar, sex, magic. Yep, it's all there. Sorry, I'm just blurting and blurting. I've got no notes really. It's just a few things I want to just like talk about. So, according to Rudolf Steiner, children are born and they have absolutely no relation. They do not identify with themselves as a boy or a girl. They do not even really identify other beings in the world as masculine or feminine. They are totally neutral until after about the age of 7, when they start to kind of think, and it's like, oh, you're different to me, okay? And these are just like, leave your kids be. But one of the saddest things, and it's like for years there would be these like, and I would hear people also in reality talk to their kindergarten children. Oh, you've got a boyfriend. And the kids would cry, no, I don't have a boyfriend. He's just my friend. They have no idea. It's just my friend boy and my friend girl. So it's really important not to impose our own things. It goes sort of hand in hand with imaginary friends. You don't have one? Yes, well, you do, and set the table for them, and just carry their teddy bear around and make a place for them in the car, and don't lock them out the house. But it's a very similar thing with children. They are just completely neutral. And boys will dress up in tutus, and girls will play cowboys, or motorcar drivers. They're just exploring. There is no definite route which they're going. We tend to put that route onto them. So the longer you can leave it without influencing any kind of sexuality in children, the easier they will feel. I can remember my oldest son, he's like a huge W. He's a fighter. He makes a lot of money. He fights for a living, like serious, like real male macho stuff. But he I left my husband when he was 9 months old. So when he was, how old was he? He was about 3. He discovered the dress-up box, and he discovered the pink satin tutu. And he fell in love with this tutu, along with his yellow pip-pops, which he didn't take off. They literally had to fall off his feet. He bathed in them, he swam in them, he ran in them, he slept in them. And it was along with this beautiful, but and I went into this like, oh my God, he's going to be gay. He's going to be gay. And I just heard this amazing voice just say to me, I have these every now and again, just leave him. He knows how to be a boy. And all he liked was actually that very soft And pink is beautiful. You know, the Romans would, it's only very recent that we changed it and dressing our children in pink and blue, as in girl, boy. But pink was actually for boys because it was a protective color. But what he liked was actually the satin feel. And obviously the little swishy thing. I mean, don't we all love a swishy tail? Even guys, if they have on a frock coat, it kind of swish, you know, or a scarf. So we love things that go swish. So he stayed in this tutu for months. It was a few of the other kids that they would dress him up and put not dress him up, make him up with makeup, get hold of makeup. All kids love to get hold of makeup. Some more than others, and that's okay. And sometimes the boys do stay that way. No, they don't grow out of liking that soft feel of mom's clothes and the scent of her soap and the making up. Yeah. But there's so, you know, if you make a big hoo-ha about it, this whole thing of boys don't cry, it's really BS, but we're not even going to go there. It's not what I want to do today. We're going into the sensuality, and I want to talk a little bit about this incredible book, which I was very lucky enough at the time to. I bought it for my daughter. She was 14. But you know what? It's also, we had too many choices. We were given, in a way, too much freedom. In a lot of other cultures, it's not even contemplated. Yeah. And men used to wear skirts back in the day, and they still do. I mean, in China and in India, they wear a lot of dresses. Yeah, and obviously the kilt and togas. I mean, it's, yeah. And I was just thinking how little has changed in India. I mean, the way that the women dress. You know, they do all sorts of amazing things in these saris. And it's really just a piece of long fabric. But I think it must be kind of quite uncomfortable. I'm actually getting very into this Indian dance. It's actually the temple dance. I've been watching so much of it. I can't remember the name. It's got a really strange name. The names elude me, but that's. But anyway, the Kama Sutra, and I bought it for, how old now? I think she was about 15 or so. I remember the way that she tried to tell me that she wanted to go on the pill, or that she'd taken, because sometimes they would walk home, and her reasoning to go on the pill, not I'm sexually active and I want to go on the pill. It was, what if something happened and I got raped along the way? So please put me on the pill. So, okay, we went on the pill, but we also had other discussions. But the Kama Sutra, I found this beautifully illustrated book. It was kind of like this very old classic Indian thing. And obviously it has all these incredible positions in it. But it's not what it is. The Kama Sutra, and Kama means love, is something so completely different. It was all about sensuality. Okay, so the Kama Sutra, Kama was the god of love, as we discovered. He shot this little bow, this little beautiful sweet flower at Shiva to wake him up. But the Kama Sutra, sadly, has just been flattened in the West into a manual of positions, which is so not what it is. It's the same as Tantra. Tantra, actually, in India, in the real stuff, you're not allowed to charge for it. And it's not a path that everybody walks, because it's like really dark. It can be very dark. The sexual union is just part of it, but it doesn't have to be. The Tantra is a lot more. And people have like charged so much astronomical money for being the sex doctor and Tantra when it came to the West. But yeah, just so, oops. Sorry, guys. Hey, my love, can I phone you just now? Yeah, I'm fine. Thanks, my lovely. Bye, ciao. There we go. Sorry, it's a little rough day. It's a week since my baby. But hey, this is what love is. Love for me is also, it's an attitude. It's not about, it is obviously, it's a feeling, But the real love that we're talking about is not the lusty love. Love is an attitude. Love sometimes has got nothing to do with the feeling. It's just doing the things that you know that you should do. That's my things. It's beyond self. It's a way of being. It's a way of caring. That's why I like to substitute that word of love with care, because I prepare a nice meal. I prepare it beautifully because I care. And these are all explained in the Kama Sutra. There's 64 ways to love your lover. But it's basically love is care in action, so it becomes a verb. And it's way beyond yourself. It's got nothing to do with yourself. You get up and get your kids to school. You get up and you care for something, not because you always feel like it. And many days you really don't feel like it. You just do it because this is the thing that you need to do. And I mean, the days obviously when you do feel, but often it's the doing word of love. It's not sitting back and saying I love you. Smack, smack, smack. I love you. And unconditional love is loving when people are not so nice, and these are people that you don't agree with, and still loving them. You don't have to entertain them, but it's loving them, which is mature care. Okay. So love is beyond self, and it's care without condition. So the Kama Sutra has been flattened into just a manual of positions, but in its original Sanskrit context, it was far more refined. It is a text about aesthetic intelligence. I think what I remember the most, I mean, she entertains him with music and poetry and writing and song and dance and food, and they eat. It's a whole long thing. In between, they do sex and they use the positions, and then they eat some more, and at the end, whenever the evening is kind of finished, they go up to the rooftop and he tells her about the stars. I just love that. That kind of gets to me. There's no, yeah, there's Blair, there's Tantra, yeah. It's just, we pick and choose the things that we want out of it, and that's okay. I'm just here to tell you because my thoughts, and get them. You can love somebody without having any intimate relationships with them. You can have so much deep love. I mean, I would always say it's so much more beautiful to be friends with somebody, because as soon as you get intimate with somebody, the whole relationship changes. So it's really wonderful to explore a friendship with somebody. Those are usually the passions that last. So it's about sensory refinement. It's emotional literacy, emotional intelligence. It's the cultivation of pleasure as art. It's the harmonizing of desire with culture and consciousness. Just popping up right now is the Book of Enoch. It's kind of quite harsh, but he brought a lot of things that were not supposed to have been shared, like makeup, like jewelry, like adornment. However, the Indians were doing them. I mean, lipstick, they have had lipstick for thousands of years. They have been adorning themselves. It's just interesting that, I think that we were put as various experiments around the globe, and how we actually managed to cope with them. Looking on that but the 4 aims, and the karma, love, karma, Kama, is one part of the 4 aims of life in Hindu philosophy. We have dharma, which is our purpose in life. We have artha, which is our prosperity, making money, enjoying the money. We have karma, which is pleasure, beauty, desire. It does not have to be sex. Okay. And it's moksha, which is liberation, which we're all heading for. But you need to enjoy all of these 4 stages as well. And karma is not lust. It is the refined enjoyment of existence. The scent of a rose, the scent of a woman. The word karma appears, I didn't know this, and it's wonderful, in the Rig Veda as the first stirring of desire in creation. Mhm. In the beginning arose karma. Is that not just amazing? So it's not sex. It arose the desire to move, to share, to experience. Desire is the impulse that moves stillness into manifestation. If we just think about our own lives when we get passionate about something or we want something, and then we will move. We can move heaven and earth. We can change our whole being. Without desire, nothing is created. It's a very terrible place to be without desire, without any passion. This connects directly to the story of Shiva and Kama. In the Kama Sutra, the text describes that a cultured person, male or female, should be trained in the 64 arts, and these include. So this is, you should get these done before you married. These are what you. The Jewish people call them. What do they call it? It's like a boon. It's not something you have to do. It's like teaching your child to swim. So it's like getting good karma. I can't remember the name right now. But okay, so these include music, singing, playing instruments, poetry, flower arrangement, perfumery, cooking, wine preparation, astrology, conversation, understanding of the seasons, interior decorating, garden design. This is definitely not primitive sexuality, and it actually doesn't leave very much time for the little black box. Because we're busy doing things, we're being creative. This is so interesting. Something that's been so twisted is actually such a beautiful blueprint, moving into the new earth of what we can do, exploring our creativity. It is refined civilization. Pleasure must be intelligent. And with all that other nonsense that's going on at the moment, please try not to get too sucked into it. It's a little crazy. And yeah. I like to come back to these things. So whatsoever is good and true and beautiful, think upon these things. So the sensuality in the original sense, it means to be fully awake to the senses. The scent of sandalwood, the sound of the veena, which is the Saraswati, it's like the spine, the music. At the sound of a veena at dusk, the texture of silk, the taste of spiced mango, the placement of lamps in a room. Atmosphere matters, mood matters, timing matters, the stars matter. The Kama Sutra includes auspicious times, lunar awareness, emotional preparation, psychological attunement. It is pure intelligence. Contrary to the Western thing, or what the Westerns think, the feminine role, the Kama Sutra actually gives women immense amount of, it's not power, just kind of agency. It discusses female pleasure, female autonomy, emotional discernment, the woman's right to select a partner. It assumes women are educated in the arts. This is not prudish or crude. It is cultured eros. It's like all these dreadful jokes. I mean, people can hardly get through saying something like Homo erectus without having snide comments. I don't know what we kind of really need some serious adjustment and a little more education in ourselves on that and as to what is unconditional love. And it's very challenging at the moment because sometimes if one portrays a genuine unconditional friendliness to people, especially as a woman or as a single woman, it gets misconstrued rather quickly. So, walking strange lines in the world at the moment. So, as I've said, love is an attitude, it's care as a verb. It's definitely fire and water creating steam. Passions must be cultivated. Atmosphere must be tended. Desire must be refined. It is definitely not about excess, it's about artistry. And which is what we're getting to. It's the sacred. This is my sweet. I really am. I am a temple for my sacred higher self. So everything gets attention to it. And it's to take this, it's just such a beautiful way of life. There used to be this wonderful thing that years back was, if you had your last meal on earth, what would it be? And people thought I would go with something exotic, and I really thought about it. Don't ask me a question, I think about it, and I'll tell you the truth. And I said, you know, my last meal would be my mother's toasted cheese, or grilled cheese, as you call it in the States, because it was just made with so much love. Absolute love. There was always like marmite and cucumber or tomato, and you should always put like a little couple of tomatoes around the side, and a little bit of like green parsley. It wasn't just like thrown at you on a plate. It was just the tiniest little bit of preparation, yeah, but made with love, yeah, and it was all absolutely delicious. So fragrance is chosen with care. Yeah, we're working with the sacred arts of aromatherapy. Yeah, we're working with beautiful music is played at the right hour and the right music. You know, I'm sure you all know that we all have 4 o'clock in the morning music. A room is arranged beautifully. I mean, when your lover is coming, we quickly tidy up very beautifully. But we should do it for ourselves because I'm the love I'm looking for. So we get dressed beautifully for ourselves. We present our food beautifully to ourselves, even if we're alone. Yeah. It is an apps. It's the way one speaks. It's the way, and that was really chosen so carefully by Patanjali, who there were like 1,800 different kind of religions in India at the time, and he kind of put all of those works into like a 10-page book, which was basically the basic yoga, and it's not the movements, it's the breath. And he also refined speech, the articulation, and the way, because it's so clear that these things must be said the way that they are, because those vowels, those sounds carry such power in what they are. They vibrate in your body. I hope you're doing your humming. It's really amazing. I'm doing a lot of humming. It really vibrates the whole system. If you can do humming before your meditations. There's also, I mean, there's just, I think we waste so much, and it is. I mean, it's all the cultures. Everybody wants love, but we've got a little bit got it. We do. I don't know what we want, love or lust. But love, real love, is actually very ordinary. Yes, obviously there's moments of passion, but real love is it's about sweet ritual, unconditional love, even when you don't feel like it. It's about preparation with care, thoughtfulness. It's about reverence, whether it's for your children, your dog, your animal, your bird, your garden. It's about restraint, holding back on your for the appropriate time. And remember all things in moderation, including moderacy. And it's about emotional depth. Yeah. It triggers the nervous system repeatedly without integration. So the West has like moved not just sex, but the whole relationship thing is just so much. And just to observe people before they get married, not everyone, but there's just so much anxiety, and we get to a point where we're numb. Addiction to fighting because you love the makeup sex. Yeah, there's a lot of impulsivity. Yeah, there's just leads to burnout. Sometimes you're just trying to prove, or women don't want their husbands to see them without makeup on, and we're just so totally disconnected from the very small and subtle pleasures of life. I think especially when it comes to Valentine's Day, a lot of people are wanting it's the value of the ring, the monetary value. It's not the thoughtfulness behind it. So yeah, I think that we have still a lot to learn, but we have really all just taken this huge step into another dimension, and it's almost, balance is almost too complicated right now to step back. So we're kind of halfway across the river, so you can continue the same distance whether you go back or you go forward. And as I've said for a lot of time, we're really not ready, but it's okay. We can talk about that at another time. How we've had we've had the knowledge in the West over and over again, and it has been sadly been held back from us. So that's about it. The lot I got for tonight was just to sprinkle a little bit of care and wonder and sweetness and sensuality, and hopefully just get you thinking a little bit about what love is, that it is not really a feeling, although it is, but it's not really a feeling, it is an attitude. And make it a good one. Yeah. So yeah, there's also, they did the dance. That was the yoga, where yoga came to all the positions. That was the dance of Shiva and Parvati. It's not the Tandev. The Tandev he does tomorrow, which is dance. There's a lot of the old classical dance, and I think the tango and things like that are just absolutely so magical and beautiful. And just exploring the body, magnificent. Absolutely love the tango. Spanish, they just like the Italians, just the Latin countries are always just so full of red hot blooded passion. Not always sexuality. Huh? They have very, very strict rules when it comes to their families, and they're also very often like matchmaked, being promised. So, my lovies, I'll leave you with so much love, 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 love. Just remember to keep your energy moving up and down your beautiful spines, and keep our energy open and awaken our antennae, and just keep hanging in there. I posted something really beautifully. It's like God is the biggest love of all, but God wants us to constantly pursue Him and demand. There's a beautiful thing which Yogananda says is to hang on to the edge of the mother's dress like a little kitten and not let go. Okay. So I love you all and have the most beautiful, beautiful, magical, sweet, devotional, remember worthy Valentine's Day, this day of love. So whether you have a partner or not, whether it's just something beautiful that you share with your children. So namaste, 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 and thank you for being here. And it is Namah Shivratri tomorrow, so you know what to do. Love, love, love. I won't be on tomorrow. I will be too busy with Shiva, but I will post some pretty pictures somewhere, I'm sure. Love you all, everybody. And yeah, it's about unconditional love. Very unconditional. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And love, 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 love.